Hello YouTube people, welcome back. So my partner and I went to the DLC Birmingham tournament for Lorcana. It's a massive championship with over 2,000 players in the main event. I've been trying to test and play and all that the last 2 weeks to be prepared for this. Pardon the pun. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the event from a Yu-Gi-Oh person's perspective, let you know how it went and what we got up to and how my deck performed. And if you're not into Lorcana or you're looking at getting into Lorcana, then I hope this is a good breakdown of what a big event is. I'll go through my deck profile, and if it's all gobbledygook, then it might be a good entrance to Lorcana. Talk about the prizes that you get throughout the weekend, and yeah, just the whole general experience. So ended up getting into Yu-Gi-Oh via Disney Villainous. So I've got all of them, and yeah, my partner and I played all of these. The big one. So yeah, these are all our Disney Villainous board games, and Ravensburger are the ones who made these. Sorry, microphone. These are the same people who make Lorcana. So I actually got back into Yu-Gi-Oh because of this. I was playing the Scar deck and it kind of comboed a little bit, and I went, I remember Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. Let's see what's happening there. And voila, 2 years later, I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm super obsessed with it and topped 2 regionals, which is crazy cool. I was really happy with playing these board games, got me into Yu-Gi-Oh! And then all of a sudden, a year ago, Ravensburger announced the Lorcana card game. So we just had to give it a go. Played chapter 1, loved it so much. Played chapter 2, loved it so much, but locals wasn't such a thing back then. And then the leaks and spoilers of next sets kind of threw me off a little bit because I was playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I didn't really have time for that kind of commitment. However, right now I feel like I can do both. When I saw other people getting into the game and enjoying it, and obviously the prize structure at certain events, even like the set championships, which are like the equivalent of OTS championships, getting like promo cards, play mats and pins, badges and all sorts of stuff, kind of was exciting to get involved. After Euros, I started looking into decks, I started watching gameplay and getting really into Chapter 5, which is the latest set. And I bought a deck, which is apparently the best deck, which is the most expensive deck, which is Steel Song. Played it for a little bit and then kind of got put off with the idea of playing mirror matches because it's going to be really popular. My partner and I tested quite a bit, and she ended up going with Ruby Amethyst with like Elsa's and the Madam Mim and Merlin cards, and she really enjoyed that. I did build her the Emerald Amber discard, and after a while she was struggling with remembering the Diablo draw, and she was also struggling with the Ursula Diablo look at hands, remembering cards, and I actually really enjoyed it. So when I was playing on the new Pixelborn setup, Stimulator, which is like a remote duel setup, so you end up playing against people with cameras, I was really enjoying it and I was being mildly successful. So we went to Birmingham. Overall experience was lovely. They packed up the NEC and it was actually really spacious because they made more space for everybody. At Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it was like half the size. So for the 2,000 people, really spread out, didn't feel bunched up at all. Partner and I got assigned seating because it was her first event and she felt really anxious being in a room full of so many people. I was sat on one row at the end and she was sat on another row at the end, which was really neat. Just one email, literally just one email to get that set up. They had banners everywhere. They had an artist come over to sign some of the cards that he drew, lots of vendors, and then the side events were really cool. However, let's go to the main event and let's talk about the mechanics there, because it's best of 2, so lots of people were drawing. Going first is really strong. So there was a lot of 1-1 draws, and if you were lucky and good enough to get the 2-0s, you were getting 7 points for 2-0s, 3 points for a draw and 0 for nothing. Apparently with the drawing, winning the second game helped with tiebreakers. Don't ask me how, I'm not a mathematician. But yeah, lots of draws going around, and I saw on Twitter X, that some like Yu-Gi-Oh players were just drawing every single round. I think it's because the decks that were built were really going first, but each opponent gets to go first. So if you win die roll and you decide to go first and you lose that game, your opponent is going to be going first in the second game. So that's a very unique feature. But I have a sneaky feeling it's going to go to best of 3 in the future. It being best of 2 made the rounds go so smoothly, however, because there was very little time in between games. When the timer got to like -8, you couldn't go to the toilet, you couldn't go and get a drink. It was like, right, they're going to be starting the next round soon. So that was really neat. Interested to see if they do best of 3 and how the time stuff will work. On round 3, judges literally just came round with a promo card. It's so shiny. This is Dragonfire. This is from set 1. It's a very stapley card, though it can't be inked. It banishes a chosen character, so this is like a little board clear card. Really, really cool art, and it's going to be playable in my red Robin Hood deck that I'm going to be playing. The fact that you can get this instead of like packs at tournaments just feels so good, because 90% of the time you just get core booster packs that won't have much in it other than super rares. Main event was 9 rounds in the first day, and then it went straight to day 2 Top Cup. I think they went to top 64 matches and not top 128, but 128 got a Let's It Go promo, which is just really, really pretty and extraordinarily valuable. The Top Cup Rapunzel, the Top Cup Cinderella, the Mickey Mouse, like, these are really valuable prizes that people will try really hard to win, and not try hard in terms of like cheat, but like put in so much time to understand the meta and the best matchups. So I was really interested in doing as well as possible, and before I go into like my matchups, just gonna plug these awesome dice bags. We managed to collect some pin badges whilst we were at the vendors, but yeah, my partner, who goes by Loopaloop on Etsy, makes these awesome dice bags. I've got a big one. It says TCG. So yeah, with this game you are going to be playing with lots of dice, because you're going to be using them for, sorry for the sound, using them for like damage counters. But yeah, my tournament experience, I went 3 wins, 3 draws and 3 losses. My first 2 games were really, really fun because I got a 2-0 win against the infamous item deck. I felt like the deck that I built was really good against it. The item decks spam out items to get lots of draw power, and then Tamatoa that gains lore based on how many items you've got, so it can get quite chunky. And then I got an item called Lucky Dime that when you tap it, you can get lore equal to one of your character's lore. So those two combo off so well that you can just win in one turn. And then I got a draw in round 2 against the aggro deck. And then round 3, 4 and 5, I lost 2-0 on all 3 rounds. The first 2, I was playing Steel Song and a villain green steel deck that played Pete. And Pete is a floodgate. This might put off Yu-Gi-Oh players, but obviously only steel decks can play Pete. When it's played, your opponent can't play actions. My deck has a lot of actions. If it wasn't for that matchup, or for steel matchup, I could have gone quite far, but you can't dodge everything, and every single deck has at least one weakness, which is something unique, because obviously in Yu-Gi-Oh you can build your deck to play the best decks, but you can also have a side deck, which we don't get, and side deck can like combat your weaknesses. I then managed to get some form back on because my friend got paired with me, and he was like, let's do a draw. After umming and ahhing, I agreed. We'll see how the game goes. And so we played 2 games. He destroyed me. He was playing Steel Song, so had Pete in his deck, and then right at the end he offered it. So like, thank you so much. After that, I drew another game against Ruby Amethyst. I got a little picture of my board. It was just all the characters in the game 2 to make it 1-1. And then round 8 and 9, I 2-0'd items again, which I just love that matchup, and I 2-0'd a Mufasa red yellow deck. In the items deck, I hand rip them and discard their hand, and then in that last matchup, I have a way to clear their whole board, but it takes up a little bit of a setup. So overall, it felt like I was playing good players throughout the day because of the best of 2 situation. People were just gaining 3 points and they weren't running off with 7 points with wins. So you'd be playing good players throughout the day. So I ended up with 30 points, and 30 points gets you what? 20 tickets. Yes, that's what gets you. I go and deposit my 20 tickets, and I managed to get a lovely promo Rapunzel, which would be here, but guess where I went? I went straight to the vendors.
What did you get? No.
Straight to the vendors now.
So, lovely Rapunzel, you can claim at the prize wall, and the prize wall was stacked. Rapunzel, a Cinderella promo, a Cinderella playmat, starter decks, packs. Like, the packs were just 2 tickets each. And then one thing that we realized was just 5 tickets was this bad boy. And so Jen and I are going to be opening this and playing this over on our other channel, Cardboard Corner. So go check it out. It's a co-op game and you play against the game. They've created a board game-esque kind of thing, similar to like Villainous. They've got like 2 pre-built decks, but yeah, we can just play with ours and try and beat Ursula. And there is a awesome victory pack that is sealed, and I actually still don't know what's in it, so excited to open that. Side events were really cool. A little bit expensive, but they can work out in your favor. We ended up going to the pack rush, where they give you 2 packs each and they give you 4 tickets. So you get 1 ticket each at the end of the game, and then somebody else will get a second one. You just take the packs away. You're supposed to not look at the packs, you're supposed to shuffle them and then play each other. And obviously Jen had collected some tickets and we played 3 rounds. I gave all my tickets to Jen, and so she went and got this bad boy and lots of packs, and it was just really fun. We only played 3 times. It cost us £90, but we worked out that the £90 translated to £145 worth of product. 5 tickets for a £45 game. What? So it was nice. I got my competitive fix, and it was nice that Jen got got something out of it. We got promo cards, we got packs, we got a game that 2 games that we can play. What I'll say is I really want to make content for Lorcana, if you guys are interested, and hopefully I can get some like Lorcana / Yu-Gi-Oh players, because I think there is quite a few of us now. I'd like to do like some spotlight stuff on certain cards and playing some games. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have dived into the game as a Yu-Gi-Oh player and how you feel about how the game plays and the meta and like in the best of 2 situation. But yeah, let's go through the deck profile. It can be quite overwhelming, but because it's Lorcana, because lots of cards just have like 1 sentence effects, it is very easy. So don't get put off by a complete new game. We won't go in crazy detail. I'm just going to let you know what each character does and like why it's good for the meta. I don't think it's the best deck. It had quite a low representation, but I enjoyed playing it, and so that's what I took. I took what I enjoyed, and I thought I did quite well. So our win condition is discard all our opponent's cards, which is great, and if that fails, or if we're playing against like aggro decks which try and quest quickly, we try and Under the Sea them. Under the Sea is a really cool board wipe that puts all your opponent's characters under their deck, which is just so cool. Yeah, let's get straight into it. For Diablo, it's a 1-drop, and we can look at your opponent's hand, and we can shift onto it with a big Diablo, which is very good. We play 2 locations, which are Hidden Cove, and this just makes everything a little bit buff. It can play around a card called Brawl, because Brawl is really good in red, and Brawl will banish a character with 2 or less strength. Brawl can like hurt Diablo, so putting Diablo on here means we can bypass that. 3 Hiss, because it has a 3/1 stat line, so it's very strong into big things with big booties. It's also evasive, so evasive is like flying in Magic, where only evasives can challenge other evasive cards. Ursula, one of my favourite cards. It can look at your opponent's hand and rip a song from there, and when you're playing against Steel Song, she's really important because yeah, you want to get rid of those Steel Songs. So we like to sing with Ursula and Sahis Bare Necessities, because it can rip a non-character card. So this is really useful in lots of matchups. So this will be ripping like locations, items, songs. And then one of my favorite chapter 1 cards is Sudden Chill. Literally just a song, rip a card. The reason why these cards are really useful is because we've got a card that draws when your opponent discards. So more songs, which is okay. The reason why I played 4 was because I wanted to -1 bigger thing, so then I can -3 with Kida to make Under the Sea work. Yeah, it's also a draw as well. And then also with a card called Muses, if I sing a song, make their -1 strength, draw a card, then this can bounce a card. We played 4 Aerial because they basically on summon, on play, they look at the top 4 and you can pick a song. And then also a Singer 3 cards have this number up here, so John can sing only 3 or lower songs. With Ariel, she has an ability where she can sing 5 or lower songs. Then we have John. He's the card that when you discard cards with Ursula, Bare Necessities and Sudden Chill, every one the opponent discards, you draw with him. So he just sits there and keeps drawing. And then sometimes you can be aggressive by questing for 2. But he has Ward. So cards like Brawl, which say Chosen on them, you can't choose John because it has Ward. Then we have the Shift Diablos, which you shift onto this. It's a unique way to shift because usually you just have to pay a cost, an ink cost, but you just have to discard an action. And since our deck has lots of songs, which are actions, you can get into Diablo quite quickly. And so you want to get into a shift Diablo turn 2, because then you can sing a song to discard a card, and when it's exerted in your opponent's turn, when your opponent draws a card, you get to draw a card. So lots of decks, like the item decks, draw cards. So yeah, you can get a massive hand advantage by just having 1 or 2 of these exerted. Another card that has ward that can't be chosen with card effects is Muses. I love Muses, and when you play a song, you can bounce your opponent's character with 2 or less strength back to their hand. So they've got nothing in hand, you sing a song, bounce, and then you can discard it and then draw off John. So there's lots of synergy with all the cards here. And then we have a very underrated card. Everyone hates it. You just make your opponent discard 2 cards. But it's not a song, so you can't sing it. It's just an action. And it can't really brick because you can just ink it. We played 2, you're welcome. This is one of the cards I was messing around with the most at 4s or 2s. When it was at 4, I kept using it for my own stuff because I wasn't drawing many cards. But really good to out anything. This card can like out a lucky dime, a location. It's a very, very strong card, I think. Then we play 3 Kida. We don't play the shift target. However, when we play this card, it -3s everything, even itself. And the reason why is because we want to get the big, chunky strength characters our opponent control to hit them with Under the Sea. What I'll do is I'll show you Under the Sea. You can sing together, which is so unique. So like these 2 can sing this song, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 2 can sing. So put all your opponent's characters with 2 or less strength to the bottom of the deck. So it's a board wipe. And then one of my favorite cards, so favoritey, that I got Enchanted. We Don't Talk About Bruno is another song that you can play for free with like Ariel. If you exert her, you can return a chosen character to the player's hand, then that player discards a card at random. So if they've got nothing in their hand, they return a card, discard. And then if you've got John on the field, this will give you a guaranteed draw with John. It will out so many issues. I just wish it said like locations, because locations ruins me. And then the last 2 is Quickie. I don't know how I feel about this card. When you play it, you buff all of your things up to +3, so it's like it helps you banish characters, and like the lore count is really, really high. But a lot of the time I'm inking him, and I think maybe this might be a flex spot. That is it. That is the deck that I took to my first ever massive event, and I've already started building a new deck for the set championships. The reason why I played this deck is because obviously I enjoyed it. I played it a lot. I think one thing that I want to go forward with it is find ways to have more 1-drops, because the early game is sometimes quite iffy if you don't see like Ursulas and Johns. That's what I noticed. And then like pushing for lore doesn't happen with this deck, because you're discarding their whole hand and at the same time you're just not questing. So I don't like that. So I want to have a look at potentially playing the Emerald Steel version, which have bigger characters in there and they have characters that quest for more. I think they're a little bit more aggressive in that respect. In October is going to be set championships, so they're like little OTS store championships, and the top 8, all of them get promo cards. So Jen and I are really excited to just go and play as many as possible, pick up mats, pick up promo cards. And what I like about it is that the game can fund itself really, really well. So like the Rapunzel that we got and Dragonfires, like we can go and sell them to the vendors or trade them to the vendors to pick up even better cards. That's what we did with Jen's new deck. We got rid of the Rapunzel and swapped it out for the Emerald and was it Amethyst cards that she wants to play. So I like that fact. I hope it stays like that, because obviously with Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to be like hitting the top places to be able to have it pay for itself. And yeah, that's like 1% of the population of the card game. So hope you enjoyed the video. I would like to make Lorcana content, so let me know if you've been dabbling in it. We've got some Yu-Gi-Oh! Content coming up soon on here, so I will see you soon. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, because I keep forgetting to say that.